Hello and welcome back to another live stream here on KameTrick. I'm your host Ben, and we're just going to be hanging out tonight, enjoying a little driving. Don't really have any plans, just going to be keeping it mellow. So we're going to get right into it. What's up, chat? I see Crispy, Anthony, NZ, Crook, Josiah, Pasta Sauce, and Shift to God as well. Good to see you guys in here. Welcome back. Quite echoey. Mike was way over here. That would do it. Pull this bad boy over here. That's probably a little bit less bad. Mike was right over by the wall. I bet it was picking up reflections. It's a pain because when I get into the sim rig, I have Mike hanging down over here, and like if I don't move it off to the side, I'll just blast into it when I'm getting in and out of the sim rig. So sometimes I start the stream and forget that it's quite off to the side. But hopefully that fixes that. Good, awesome. Yeah, Shift to God, I'm doing great. Just another day in paradise over here. I just finished recording my unboxing, most of my unboxing footage for the Husingfeld handbrake that I'm moving to because I keep breaking the Fnatic ones. So it's actually finally out for looking at. This thing is a hoss. It weighs, I don't know, 2.2 pounds or something, like almost 3 pounds, and it feels good in the hand. So I'm looking forward to using this. The only problem is that the Fnatic handbrake, like, let me get this angle to the camera right, the handle is like this long on the Fnatic handbrake, and I built my wooden sim desk to accommodate that positioning. So this base is so much more compact. I'm not sure, I may have to rebuild part of the wood on the wooden sim rig in order to get the handle to be where I want, because otherwise I don't know that there's wood where this needs to be to put the handle where I want. We'll find out. That is a story for another time. I'm just gonna discreetly attempt, well, that's too big. I'm gonna try to toss this somewhere where folks can see it when we're doing the helmet cam stuff. So I suppose that will have to do. Oh, crew. How are we doing? What are we doing? School stuff for a lot of us, or work. Notice says, got into sim drifting a few months back. Thanks for the vids. Awesome. Glad that it helped out. Regulator. Yeah, so this will be handbrake number 4 for me. I bought one used. It broke in about 1.5 years or 2 years. I bought one from a friend for parts who he said it worked, and it didn't actually work when I installed it. He had clearly had it apart and was messing with it, so I wish he would have told me what the actual situation was, but I have like a parts one apparently, and then I have a third that broke after about 1 year. All these I got used from, you know, origins unknown, as it were. And so I was finally like, you know what? Let's just make this problem go away. So I tossed together the funds for the Husingfeld, and I'm looking forward to trying it. It's got all manner of neat stuff to it. We're going to be starting out with HT Happy Tracks Rhythm and Flow, which if you cannot find with a quick Google search, it is in the announcements channel. But you'll just have to use the search feature. We have run it in previous events. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the password in if you have the track. Cool. Again, it's something we've run before. Hopefully we'll see you there. Regulator got the... Oh, you meant V2, as in the Husenfeld V2. Yeah, so it is the new one that came out in... I don't know when they released the V2. I saw the press release about the V1 getting discontinued around January of last year. And I picked this up in July, sorry, of last year. And I picked this up in January of this year. What's up, Nightmare? Got track map, right on. Can't run today. Okay, well, you know, every week there will be another time soon. And Z might be getting a sim rig tomorrow. Heck yeah, man. Way to go. That's sweet. That is going to be awesome. How do you like their version 1 handbrake? I haven't heard much about them either way. Like, everything I've seen is decent, but it's like such a small amount of feedback. I think it's just one of those parts that is like, because of the cost and because most people are trying to do things on more of a budget than Husenfeld pricing, I feel like there's just not a whole lot of reviews out, even though it's probably really good. So, curious about that. Of course, I'll find out soon. I can now go about the fun business of actually installing this bad boy once I shoot a couple more like pieces of B-roll footage, which is like when somebody's talking. Actually, it looks like this. When someone is talking and you see other footage that's not actually what they are saying, and they're like talking head video, that is what B-roll footage is. So I need to shoot a little bit of that to support what I put together for it, but I just filmed that right before the stream started. Arm was sore for 3 days from using the load cell. Yeah, man, I believe it. My real drift car has a cable handbrake. It doesn't even have a hydro, so there's no hydraulic assistance whatsoever, and so this will be fine for me. I'll just rip it like I usually do, but I can imagine that would be pretty intense normally. More IRL drift content. I don't get to do it as much because it, you know, costs heaps more than driving in the simulator, but duly noted. I certainly do document every live event I go to. I don't always edit them because they get like 1/3 the views, but I have a library of footage that I can put stuff out for if and when I need to. Okay, so we are rocking and rolling here, starting with Happy Tracks, and we're just gonna go get some shreds. So I'm gonna switch over to POV. Hold on for just a minute while I get all that set up. And we will see what sort of trouble we can get into today. Old school before I had the wing on it. Okay, I want that out of the way a little bit more. I'll go ahead and tilt it down just a hair. I feel like this looks reasonable. What's up, Sam? Things are going well. I'm actually using... Well, I was using a little bit different settings. I guess we'll just roll with it as is. I don't particularly need Sidekick on for this. And let's see. Yeah, we'll just roll up in here. I'm actually going to run with Sidekick because I'm going to run this super close view for a change. Although you can still see the driver's hands, which is pretty distracting. Can you turn driver hands off? I guess I'm not going to sweat it. Okay, we got our track map. We got our crew ready. We got our hilarious updated name tags from CSP that are like massive sometimes. And chat is up as well. Wow, that is way over there now. I guess it'll work. I saw the buzz about GT7. I haven't actually seen the footage. Gran Turismo always looks amazing, doesn't it? That is one of the most consistently gorgeous series. that I've ever seen. Have to right click on Content Manager tab and hide arms. You mean the Content Manager app and not the driving session app? Or do you mean like one of these? Hey Bullet, good to see you, man. Yeah, we're doing well. Doing well. Yes, sorry. There's no way that you can respond in real time, so I need to either hear the sidebar or the actual Content Manager window. Yes is very not clear. Bezel kit for my triples? I would probably run a bezel kit for them after getting a different triple monitor stand. My monitors aren't actually next to each other. The front monitor is completely in front of the other two, so I can't run a bezel kit unless I reposition the monitors, and I don't really feel like doing that. So I'm getting half the bezel that I normally would by doing that. So the only bezel that you see is the center monitor's bezel, and everything else, the other bezels are kind of hidden due to perspective. Let's get a lap out of the way here. I mean, I can certainly afford a bezel-free kit if I wanted to get one, so I might just scoop one up at some point just to see what all that's about. I've certainly seen YouTubers who have it, and it looks decent. I have never considered getting an ultra-wide. At minimum, I would run 2 ultra-wides with the bezel in the center, which would probably be better, because in drifting you're never facing dead ahead anyway. But no, I don't have any desire for an ultra-wide, because I'd have to run real head motion, and I don't really care for that. I like to watch it if I'm watching on a single monitor. I don't mind seeing it, but like for me driving, it just messes me up. There's a 49-inch Samsung Ultra Wide. That's not too bad. What am I rocking? I've got a 96-inch set of total monitors. So it's not quite twice that, but it's pretty close. Alright, let me see what we got in chat here. Yeah, I mean, I've never been bothered by the bezels anyway. This one over here is almost completely hidden by the pillar, depending on where the camera, like FOB is. This one is more obvious, but it's not such a big deal. But yeah, triple 32s, man. It's quite a bit of monitors for sure. Okay, let's see. The normal menu of Content Manager. Okay, so it's not the driving session that we're in. It's actually CM, which isn't even up anymore. It went away. See, look, Content Manager is not even running the way that it works. I know how to control the settings here. I just didn't want to have to go into this, but whatever. We'll see if that live updated. It did not, of course. So that doesn't even work because I'd have to exit the driving session and re-enter. Which is kind of what I was afraid of. here. No. We'll right click here. Certainly not. Okay, not particularly surprised by that outcome, but it's worth a shot. Ariel, what's up, dude? Or dudette. Let's get some driving done. My FFB is actually really heavy. Let's see what that is. Oh, I don't know. This feels heavy. Virus, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Just chilling out. About to do a little bit of driving. Homie FV Mods is in the house. He's usually good to follow. FV drives with more angle than I usually do, pretty consistently, which always makes the first couple laps a little interesting as we get adapted. Whew. That pulled in kind of tight. Alright. So we'll just do a Manji. We'll duck in right here. For some reason my car didn't want to go into drift there over the crest. It usually does. Thoughts on triple monitor versus VR? VR is definitely going to have some more realism factor to it, for the sole reason that you have binocular vision in VR. So I think that the driving experience is probably a little bit better. Current VR tends to, and most people's computers tend to lack the ability to display the same level of quality that like triple 1440p monitors can do, which is what you're seeing on my, well, which is what I'm seeing, although the stream is a 1080p 60 stream, so I guess you guys aren't actually seeing that. Though I don't run stuff at max settings anyway, because I'm, you know, encoding a stream and I'm playing. But all that to say, I definitely think that VR is superior as far as the driving experience is concerned. Oh, that's the wall. Triples have some benefits, but not in terms of driving. Too much angle there. It's gonna be so nice to not have this keyboard e-brake going on. Oh, that's wall again. Yeah, I think it's going to be easier to judge and have a better sense of speed with VR stuff. Should I be looking to upgrade for my T300? If you've already got a T300 and you're not having like game-breaking overheating issues, then I would say the T300 is fine. And I would prioritize VR, assuming you're on like a single monitor. If you already had triples, then I would just do whatever you want at that point. Virus, so right now the only working e-brake that I have that is installed in my sim rig is the keyboard. You probably didn't mention, but you probably weren't here, but I just finished filming content unboxing for this. I've got to take a couple more B-roll shots before I can hook it up. My main e-brake is broken, so it's very practical reason because the keyboard actually works and nothing else that I have is ready to use as of this particular second. I'm probably going to have to rebuild this because the e-brake box here is very long and this that I'm replacing it with is considerably shorter, so I don't know that there's room to put this where I want to get the handle to be right here. I'm afraid the handle's going to max out a little shorter. We'll see. Here's a R32 driven by an unknown individual. Gotta love the username of player. That means it's either someone amazing or somebody terrible. Oh, you mean usually that's what you see in games. When you're looking to follow somebody, as you do in a public lobby, a lot of times the best thing to do is to leave a lot of room. Kind of observe from afar. Some people would say this is not far away, but for me this is plenty far enough away to observe what they're doing and avoid an accident. So we're checking out the transitions of this lead car, seeing if they've got any fast or slow spots, places where they grip up, almost spin, or transition with way too little angle. And then we just kind of work our way in as we get there. Sam, I've had 2 Fanatic e-brakes fail in the exact same way, and so I do know what is wrong. A piece of metal sheared in half. It's the same piece of metal in both cases. Main occupation other than drifting and YouTube stuff. So I work in a mix of communications, like graphic design type stuff, and database work. But I've done all kinds of things over the years, so that's just what I'm doing at the moment. I did go to school for graphic design, so I have a degree in that. I thought we were going to be in the wall. Does your head naturally turn since you're used to drifting real cars? Yeah, this is a very similar experience to drifting real cars. Now granted, one thing you guys can't see is I can just like move my actual eyeballs without turning my head. So like, I'll look in various places, maybe more than it looks like based on how much I turn my head. Like in VR, you can't move your eyes, so you have to actually turn your head like this, whereas in real life you can turn your head like that and turn your eyes the rest of the way. So, I don't know, that might not be as, like, pronounced. Oh, the 32 is Vix, okay. The ambiguous player name. Well, it was good to follow you. You did fine. Bullet, yeah, so if your game is way darker, you can adjust your soul settings. There should be a soul slider in the app menu that pops up over here, and you'll be able to adjust the brightness there in-game, like in the session, which is handy. You don't have to leave the server and come back in. Kevin, I can't do VR, unfortunately. I get real bad motion sickness, and so far several instances of trying to practice and like get used to it have just not been successful. So definitely prefer triples for me, but I generally recommend VR for anybody who can handle it. It's the same or cheaper, a much smaller footprint in your room, which is also something that is really pleasant. My sim desk is like nearly 6 feet. It's kind of a beast. It is nice from a comfort standpoint for triples. I don't feel particularly like encumbered by headgear and stuff, which that seems to depend on the person. Some people say VR is very comfortable. I imagine that they just have a tolerance for it, and other people, you know, get sweaty, or if they have glasses, maybe their glasses fog up or get in the way of their comfort, etc. Oh, that was not what I wanted to do. Get a rig right now. I'm using a Logi wheel and shifters, no e-brake. Yeah, just do a keyboard e-brake like I'm doing. Budak, so this is an RTX 2070 setup with a AMD Ryzen 2700X. I built it about 3 or maybe 4 years ago, probably 3.5 years ago. Doesn't say Soul works online. I'm not really sure how to interpret that. Mad Boxer, welcome back. How have you been? What is new? We're gonna chase down LSS, ya boy. Transitioned way late there. Transition right, there we go. Oh, little bump. Finally sold the G29 a while ago. Now I'm trying to get the T300. Very nice. Yes, you'll be happy once that finally gets sorted. Good luck to you. Hey Buddha, welcome back. Yeah man. Find a spot, hop on in. Oh, a little too much. Controller scripts do not work in replays or online sessions. I have no idea what that means. It's not anything I've ever seen or heard of. And I use Soul and CSP every time I play, so whatever that is, it's not something that I've experienced. I'll grab some longer gears so that I can sync up better with everybody. Kevin, man, I think most people are fine with VR, especially if you're, you know, like under 30. It just doesn't seem to be an issue for more people than not that I run into. But, man, being able to survive the rally stuff, that's pretty impressive. That would be terrifying. Do not think I could handle that. I am with you though on the roller coasters and stuff. Like, I need to be in control of the chaos. Like, if I'm drifting, I think it's honestly the most relaxing thing that I have ever done. People talk about it being this big, like, adrenaline rush, and I guess it can be, but even when I'm in tandem, I'm just, like, completely in the zone, just focused on what I'm doing, not thinking about anything else, and it's so relaxing. I really enjoy it. It's like a feeling of freedom. But like a roller coaster, nope. Riding with somebody else, nope. If I'm not in control of what's happening, it is just scary. Even if it's like someone who I know is a better driver than me, I'm still just like, yikes, this feels so intense. And in my car, I could be going just as fast doing the same thing. And I'm like, meh, we're just chilling. Like, I'm talking to the passenger who's probably freaking out, just like I'm talking to you guys. Folks who have ridden with me in real life know I'll either only chat before the run starts, or I won't stop talking the whole time. I'm just like God-footing it up. Hey Bardo, welcome back. Opinions on the G923. So I haven't driven any Logitech wheel besides the what was it? Like the driving force wheel. So I don't have a whole lot of experience to go on, but in general I think roughly the same thing about all the belt drive wheels, which is that they work and people can make them competitive for sure, but I don't think they feel realistic, and they don't self-steer very well unless you run like less steering angle and a LUT. And the LUT is fine, but less steering angle comes back to not realistic. You can still definitely learn everything you need to know to drift with them though, so, you know, work with what you can and what makes you happy. I really wish Logitech would release a belt or direct drive wheel, because they know how to just nail it with their other components. So like, I know they could make a good product, but for whatever reason when it comes to sim wheels, they only target effectively the beginner market. And because they make such good peripherals elsewhere, I think a fair number of people buy the Logitech wheels thinking they're going to be getting something really good, and then they probably are disappointed when they realize that Thrustmaster and Fnatic and other companies just make way better products in the sim space. So I like Logitech products. I use their keyboard, I use their mouse, I used to use their headsets, but for sim stuff I really prefer just about anybody else. It's not bad though. It's just a missed opportunity for them to pick up some more market share. I feel like they would make some money off of it, but clearly they don't think it's worth enough to develop that product. Hey G-Nack. Yeah man, we're trying. Ark says, I have a CSL DD, drifting is great with it, but you're turning a lot of things off in order to drift well. I mean, that's fair. The Fnatic wheels definitely have a ton of settings, and mine didn't feel amazing out of the box. It took a little bit of work. G923 is stupid to buy if it costs $400. Oof. Yeah, I mean, as far as I understand, everybody who has reviewed it that is familiar with the old wheels say it's basically the same as the old wheels. Ark, I have a nice load cell handbrake right here. I've got the Husingfeld V2. I just, before the stream started, filmed the unboxing for it. I got to shoot a few more B-roll shots, and then I can install it right here where I have my other load cell handbrake, which is broken. There's 2 more Fanatic handbrakes right there. So I've got a few load cell handbrakes. It's just that for the time being, the keyboard handbrake is the only product that I have working as of this moment. Wow, I'm gonna catch that train again. That was just kind of odd. Yeah, Ark, I actually made a great video on using the spacebar as an e-brake, and so like, there's a small part of me that's like, yeah, I'm gonna prove it to everybody by getting some mad shreds with it. But it's mostly just because I'm in between pieces of hardware right now. There was a while where I had a C920 camera just pointing at the keyboard and it said LOL keyboard e-brake. So I had an e-brake cam for the keyboard. Let me slide in here, get in position. See if I can follow Matefly in his AE Hachiroku. Nope. Hey Jay, I don't have any concrete plans, but I mean, I used to live in Japan, so going back is like, going back to Japan for me is kind of like going to a family reunion. Like, yeah, I'm sure I'll go. I don't have a specific time frame for when that might be, though. Things get dicey when you need to adjust your handbrake keyboard because it moved, and you're trying to do that while you drive. Yeah, that's not happening. I just bashed it. I hope I didn't bash my camera as well. I don't think I did. Boxer, trying to convince my uncle to let me ride along with him when he goes to do some drifting in a few days. Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling. For me, riding with people was a huge key to be able to figure everything out. I was able to translate the feel of what they were doing and know how to recreate that once I felt it. I had tried on my own without riding along with somebody way better than me when I was first learning, and I was just trying different things, but it wasn't really going too well. After a couple ride-alongs, things got a lot better and clicked for me more. So I definitely recommend that if you can. Yeah, Nightmare just gotta do what you think is best on that one. It's certainly an option. Yeah, I think we've got a little group that's getting ready to form. Stray J, you left in 2020 and can't stop thinking about going back. Were you living over there, or just on some sort of a tour or study abroad? Setup excluding my PC is probably $400. Okay, 6 years. I assumed you were working for an English school doing Eikaiwa stuff or ALT stuff. I was there for over a year, but certainly not a long time like 6 years. Okay. I've been to Hiroshima. It's a really interesting place. Just given that, you know, they rebuilt so much of the city, it's got a little bit of a different vibe than a lot of Japan does. can't read chat while I'm trying to drift sometimes. Hey Sam. Yeah, Assetto on PS4 would be a little harder. Some of the DLC cars are kind of decent at drifting, but the mod cars are heaps better, and the tracks are heaps better as well. Oh, there's Turbo. I hadn't seen him all night. I figured he had something come up. This should be a pretty solid little train once we get going. Get into formation as best we can here and then see what sort of consistency we can get out of the group. I've been flubbing the crest over the hill here. Let me get that right for a change. I feel like we're gonna get pinched pretty heavily here. Yeah, this is not bad, guys. Not too shabby. Oh my. We just lost most of the train. Well, these things happen. The logic cam there is a face cam for when I'm not in triple mod or POV mode. I usually alternate, or if I get like a good question in chat and I hop out of this view so that I can look at you guys while I answer, basically. Oh, that was messy. Oh, bad times. Ray J managed to get the Hidashi Tengoku and Sportsland Tamada. Did some time attack at TS Tamada. And Bihoku, that's cool. Yeah, I got to, I lived in Yamanashi Prefecture, so I went to Sportsland Yamanashi a bunch. This was forever ago, though, dude. It was in, like, 2007 and 2008. It was before, like, Noriero, before Alexi had made any content about going to Sportsland Yamanashi, so it was awesome, because I didn't know it was out there. And I found it on satellite view of Google, and plotted a course and rode my bike out there. Basically walked it up the side of the hill. Took a minute, but it was a good time. And then, where else? I've been to Fuji Speedway for D1. I'm actually, you can spot me in the crowd in one of the D1 Grand Prix videos. What is Toge? Toge stands for a mountain pass. Buyers don't know how you're only at 35k subs. Did I hit 35k? I was really close to 35k earlier today. Might have hit that on stream. That was always fun. Want to visit the car meets? Yeah, that'd be cool. Old ways are the best ways. For reals. Yeah, sure, Vix. Let's roll. It's so cool when you find circuits that that way. Like getting hyped on other people's like coverage of circuits is cool, but there's something super magical about just finding your own. Obviously, it's like you're not the first person to discover it. It's been there for long before you, but at the same time, in a way, it's kind of cool. It kind of feels like you did discover it. Of course, going to one and not knowing anybody is always kind of weird, but when you speak Japanese, you can sort of make it work. Definitely can't read chat while trying to drive. Easy to speak basic Japanese. Indeed, it sucks to learn to read it though. Bad misconception that sim racing is expensive. I agree. It's not all that much. Yeah, it would be cool to have continued living in Japan, but like if you have a degree in something that you can make money with a little bit more clearly than like English, and I'm not trying to like pick on English degrees, but if you don't have like a specific way to monetize a degree in mind and you just get it because you have a passion for a subject, sometimes it can be really hard to turn that into money, and so then you end up just doing whatever. But for me, I have a graphic design bachelor's degree, and so it ended up making tons more financial sense, unfortunately, to come back to America and work over here and make way more money here than I ever could in Japan, and then use some of that split to come back to Japan. Like if I wanted to have an Ebisu car, I'd be better off getting paid an American salary and buying a car and flying to Japan every year than I would living over there as a teacher. Which depresses me to no end, because I'm not like a natural teacher of English. That's not really something I enjoy, but I am a good teacher. And I would have loved to live in Japan more, but I just couldn't find a way to feel responsible financially and make it work for me personally. But everybody's situation and skills and, preferences are different. So, I've got several friends that are still over, I'm just driving off the course today, over there, and it works for some. Just depends on what people are into. I haven't played Car X. It does not look realistic. I think I have it, but I haven't ever booted it up. I'd like to at some point, but right now Assetto is kind of the bread and butter for my sim driving. Jay, I had no idea what I was walking into. Bumbling through basic Japanese to talk to the one guy on staff. Nice. Yeah, I took 2 years of university college Japanese courses, and I thought I was pretty good. And like I was best or second best depending on the day in my class, but then after 4 classes and flying to Japan, I realized real quick at Narita Airport that the Uketsuke gals, or like the front desk folks, are yeah, they're pretty hard to understand still. They don't pull any punches for you, so it's a good time. There are streetlights on this track, yes, and they do work turned up, at least for me. Let's see. I'm gonna take some notes real quick. Don't mind me. Okay. Nightmare says, I'm not into IRL driving right now. Not sure if it will ever. Seems really expensive. Yeah, man, the real drifting is, in the past couple of years too, with the pandemic economy, it's gotten way more expensive than it used to be. One of my friends was just asking me about Ebisu, and he had wanted to go, and based on prices from like 3 years ago, he thought maybe he could make a trip for around 14 or 15k, spending about 10k on a car. And probably 4 or 5 years ago you could. And when I last checked, pre-pandemic, chasers were going like a JZX 90 or 100 with an angle kit and like a maintenance job done to it, you know, basically coils, weld the dip, and an angle kit. You could get one, I figured, for 12 to 15k, and now they're like 28k. Now granted, that's with the lazy like drop 2 digits off the back of the yen pricing conversion, and right now it happens to be favorable. Like what looks like it would direct translate the lazy way to 28k is actually like 24,200 or so. But holy mackerel, that is so much more expensive. Like at this point, I would have to win the lottery or be making buku YouTube money or something insane to drift at Ebisu, unless I had a friend who would let me use their car, you know, for free basically. But it's wild how expensive cars have gotten right now. I don't know if that's going to stay, or if it'll come down. I think it's going to come down outside of Japan, but I don't know, or at least in America, I just don't know how far. I'm sure it won't come back to as cheap as it was. Vix, yeah, sure. I'll do some laps. Let me see what time it is. I want to do track change soon. I'm just gonna put you guys into non-POV here. JDM cars of the 90s will die out soon. They're basically expensive enough at this point that you almost you have to finance them, and or you have to like. All right, Vix, you are maybe or maybe not behind me. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, this is kind of in the way. 1 second. Oh. All right. Now we. Oh. Need to turn my turbo down. Yeah, let me turn my turbo back down. Yeah, I don't have sound turned on at the moment. I can if you guys want. Oop, there we go. Nate, I don't think I have any plans to do Toge, but we're just picking tracks at random, so if my mood changes, then it's certainly possible. Have to finance, but you could get. I never would have thought that like 240s would become that way, or 86. Well, 86s I guess would eventually become that way, but a lot of cars that were just a little out of reach for me when I was like in high school are now like a serious financial endeavor, and they're usually in terrible shape by now too. So then there's that. Mount Akina, no comment. We shall see. I do think I'm going to change tracks though, so I'm going to hop out of game, figure out what I want to run. Oh man, it's rough when I'm trying to film and then I've got a stream to get ready. Sometimes I think about just not streaming so I can focus on editing content. Let's see, what do I want to run next? I'm not really taking suggestions, so don't take it personally. Let's see. I want to run Forest Park, I think. I've not run Forest Park in a minute. Let's see, let's sort these by name. Alright, this is going to include DWG cars. Because I don't have a version without. Alright. Go here. I refreshed the server. Guess we'll just do all this over again. It didn't seem like it took. Transfer is finished. Restart. Have I raced at a circuit? I have drifted at circuits. I don't think I've raced at a circuit. Unless you count like racing drift cars, which is... you see YouTubers do occasionally, but not really now. The safety gear and requirements, I don't even own a car that is compliant with race, like grip race safety. I've autocrossed, I've done grip stuff in that regard, but that's about it. There we go. That loaded in finally. Bonk. I think Volvos are underrated as drift cars, even if you have to engine swap them. I mean, if you get into you're not like sweating doing an engine swap, then there's a lot of chassis that are potentials. Lena, your Fanatic wheel and handbrake arrived. Congratulations, that's awesome. Ravage, unfortunately, I am not the guy. Being stuck over here in America, I don't know that I've even seen a Peugeot in person. Well, I probably have, but like, all that to say, I have no idea about the capabilities of 205s, so unfortunately I'm not really the best person to comment on tuning them. Maybe someone in chat will have more suggestions about that. Stray J, as a man who's always wanted an S30 super bad and always been just behind the price curve. Bro, right? Like, you see it, and you're like, okay, yeah, I can work my way up to that. Maybe in about, like, 3 years I can buy one. 3 years go by, and they're like $4,000 more expensive. You're like, oh, man, okay, maybe next year. COVID happens, they're $10,000 more expensive, and you're just like, no! It's such an exciting experience. That car life, though, huh? Let's see. I'm gonna turn the tire grip down a little bit. I'll do that. Have the wheel off this time, so that's kind of fun. Alrighty, we are It's worthless now that I don't even have the wheel showing in this view. I'm going to do a lap this way anyway. Skull break from Amigo Corona. I'm going to do a lap here at Forest Park. Some quantity of laps, the amount is unknown. FB leading. I know he likes to run a pretty impressive angle about any time that he can, so I'm going to give him a little bit of room. Some slower transitions and we're smooths. I guess we'll go to VR or POV, my equivalent to VR. Since that went terribly anyway, might as well. All right, and we're back. Very good. And we'll tab our way to this. A little too close to the wall there. Gotta get some heat in the tires so they behave a little bit more like what I'm used to. Well, either everybody's done chatting with me or my chat has stopped working. If nobody's chatting, I probably will not keep driving. Oh. Oof, that's heavy. Let's see. So I'll try to refresh this and see if that does anything. Ah, yep, chat definitely stopped working. Valcor, I broke 2 Fanatic handbrakes, and I have been sold one that I was led to believe worked that did not work. So, it's just some metal pieces inside sheared in half, basically. I do have a new handbrake that I'm gonna install at some point. I got it back in January and I just finished the video on it. Well, I finished shooting most of the footage for a video on it right before the stream. Oh, Bullet, you're using Reshade? I don't even use Reshade. It is literally just, that one thing. Just Soul and CSP for me. If I recall correctly, Reshade is like for photo mode, but I don't think people advise using it for, actually driving. Could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. Well, crew, I am feeling pretty tired, honestly. Not feeling so hot. I think I'm gonna can the Twitch stream tonight and wrap at the end of the YouTube stream. If you all want to chat, by all means, we can do some of that. Making a few updates. Oh, let's see. I have not, I've not tried the Gravy Garage pack. I downloaded it in order to drive with some IRL drifters that I know a while back, but I haven't tried any of their cars yet. Yeah, I haven't been driving a whole lot anyway. Certainly not well. Hey, Demi. I'm just chilling, man. Just hanging out. I think I'm just gonna do a chatting stream for the rest of the night. The 10:30. Elliot, cool, man. Good to see you. We'll be back every week. Usually until midnight. I really want to change the time that I stream. Being up until midnight causes me to not actually go to sleep until probably 1 or sometimes 2 a.m. and then my whole weekend is destroyed because I do nothing productive on Saturday, kind of get back to normal on Sunday. It's just a rough time. I'm not as young as I used to be, and staying up until all hours of the night actually impacts me the next day. Like, I might as well wake up hungover. It's just not a fun thing. So I don't know. I want to figure out some different times to do things, but that involves changing the rest of my family's lifestyle a little bit. So it's a bigger discussion than just me doing what I want to do, like the second I want to do it. So that might be something that I'll look at in the future. I talk about it with my wife every other week right now, but haven't made any final determinations yet. So we shall see. We shall see. So hydrate, that's always a good idea. God, you think I'd have learned my lesson from ending up at the ER from not hydrating one drift event? Tell you something cool about this Huizenfeld handbrake. So this thing, I guess I need to actually give you a proper camera here, because otherwise the thumbnail cam that I use for this is so tiny. So this thing is cool. It's got actually two, like, what should I call them? Two resistance mechanisms. So right here it's got a spring, and then this like bushing looking guy is also a elastomer, which is essentially a squishy rubber bushing. And so when you pull the handbrake, it first compresses the spring. The spring's fairly weak, and that simulates like slack at a cable e-brake, or the gap between the brake pad and the brake rotor in a hydraulic system. And then you actually compress the elastomer here, and that's where the braking happens. So you can tune the spring in terms of the preload and the amount of throw that it has, or you can run it without the spring at all. And then it comes with 3 different elastomers, a medium, soft, and hard compound that you can run as well, which is pretty cool. So they put like way more thought than I think really anybody would have come up with for a handbrake. But I'm pretty excited to try that once I get it mounted. It's pretty stout though. I'm not able to really actuate it, just like holding the base and trying to pull the lever. The leverage is so bad. I haven't got a chance to try it. CJ, what's up, man? Would be nice to drift maybe next stream. Yeah, generally every Friday I am driving, and I'm streaming, and most frequently I'm streaming Assetto, and it tends to be community stuff. Occasionally I'll do Forza, excuse me, or like Initial D Arcade, but for the most part it's just Assetto. So that sounds like a plan. We will be here. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that handbrake. It's not going to make me a better driver at all, but hopefully it won't destroy itself. I can grab one of my spare Fanatic handbrakes and show you the issue that I've experienced. So the Fanatic handbrake, here's what the insides of it look like. And so you've got the handle, and when you pull the handle, the force is transferred through to this little right here, that horizontal piece, and then it comes into like an eye bolt, and then it transfers back this way again. And right here is essentially where it is measuring the rotation. So I think that it needs that to be separate from the spring, but the spring here then is where like all the resistance happens. There's not really anything significant down on here. This is all just resistance mechanism, but the actual measurement right here, this is where it measures what amount of force is being applied to it. And so what I have had happen on two out of 3 is this piece right here actually shears in half at the handle. It literally gets chopped in half. And so one thing that I'm pretty focused on after having that happen a few times is just not having to deal with that sort of mechanical failure. Like, I could probably fix those, and I might fix them and sell them or something. But the way that this guy is built, all of the pressure goes into a rod that is right here, and you can't really see it. I don't think there's an angle where I can let you see it very well, but there's a threaded rod that goes right here. And so in the Fanatic handbrake, what is happening is the handle is going this way, and then like a piece is at a 90-degree angle to it. But with this one, it's almost like a U shape, and so when the handle goes up, it's just pushing in the same axis that the rod is. So, you know, if you've got like a thin little stick, like my pinky finger, which is going to be more sturdy, pulling and pushing or tweaking it like that? Like, this is where it's snapping in half. Going forward and back is fine. So I think it's going to last a lot longer, and hopefully for the, you know, I hope it'll outlast the rest of my sim gear. We'll see. Thoughts on RX-8? The RX-8 is a great chassis. It's a very light, very well balanced chassis. It's got some of the better steering, and just like the general suspension capabilities are awesome on the car. The engines are unique, but nothing to write home about unless you boost them. So really, I'm more a fan of the 13BT, which is from the RX-7 generations, than I am of the Renesis rotary engine. Boxer, right on, dude. We'll see you. We'll catch you next time. CJ, yeah, I'm sure hoping so. I think that it will. I really do. So it's all like laser cut, CNC'd stainless steel, and what's cool is on that setup, even if I somehow manage to break that little rod that actuates to the load cell, it looks like it's not a unique part. Like, I could go get a threaded rod and make a replacement piece. However, on the Fanatic, it goes into like an eye bolt that, like a ball joint. It's not something that you can just pick up at the local hardware store. You probably, like, you can buy it, I'm sure, but you'd have to do a little bit more research than just go to like the tool bin and know the thread pitch. So, Dom, there you go. Sim handbrake is temporary, spacebar is forever. I feel like I want that to be on a shirt that I sell, but how many people are going to buy that? But I really want that. I'm not sure that the map is broken, Bullet. It's kind of a faster version. It's the exact same layout as Drift Playground, actually. I noticed that when looking at the maps at some point. So it's literally Drift Playground scaled up by like 50% bigger, so that it's third gear and second gear instead of second and first gear. And it's got no elevation change. But the actual route is pretty bang on Drift Playground, which is kind of awesome to realize. Ah, man. Spacebar forever. That makes me think of a meme idea that I had, or like just kind of shitpost idea that I had, that I want to build out with Star Wars, where Darth Vader is like a drift guy who says that you should use weight shift, and Luke is a drift guy that is like overly reliant on the handbrake, so he cuts his hand off. I think that it would be so funny, but I don't know. I probably won't make the effort to create that. We'll see. The eye bolts might be able to swap with some the eye bolts might be able to swap with titanium ones for my 8th or 5th scale RC turnbuckle. Maybe. It's pretty hefty. This thing is It's like at least a 1/4 inch, I'd say. But I'm sure I can buy it. I just haven't tried to look it up too hard. Cause like, if you compare that to my pinky finger, I know the lighting is all terrible, but it's pretty stout, you know? So I feel like 8th scale RC, I doubt it. 5th scale, maybe. I've never seen any 5th scale RC stuff. I was into 10th scale stadium trucks, and there were certainly some 8th scale buggies at the place that I used to hang out when I was a kid, but I haven't seen anything more. But I'm sure that you can buy those ball joints or eye bolt things online, so you just have to know the size. And if I ever take one apart the rest of the way and measure the size, I suspect that I can get the answer to that, and then we shall probably be in good shape. Let's see, go back to video chat. At least have some little car clips on the screen. That's always fun. I really need to set up my stream in a way that I can do YouTube reactions and stuff like that. I never do that. Like, technically, if you want to be uber technical, it's against, like, it's not okay from a copyright, I think, standpoint and a TOS standpoint, but I mean, everybody does it, unless it's blatant. Like, if I was live streaming a basketball game that was happening, that would not be okay. But as long as you're like watching old stuff, and if it's from like an individual creator and not like a big corporation with lots of money and lawyers, you're generally fine. But I've always been pretty lawful good about that, so I really should set it up that we could do some TV watching and or some drift wins and fails reviews at some point. That might be fun. I could show you guys some of my content that I have never bothered to publish. I'm sorry I'm so tired. I guess it's just been a longer day than I thought. Straight J out here. Right on, dude. Well, it was cool to chat with you. Cool to hear about your Japan experience. It's always pretty awesome to meet somebody else who has had the Japan life. So good times. Oh yeah, I mean, Hurt does. Corey Hosford does. I think Corey streams FD while FD is live, which if you technically have permission, it's fine, and he probably does. But in any case, I just I never rely on that, and I probably should, because there's more to streaming and there's more to hanging out than actually driving in the simulator. And sometimes I want to do something a little different, but I just never set up my system to do it. So one day. In the meantime, I think I'm going to go ahead and bid you guys farewell. I've got to get some video editing going, so I hope that you have a wonderful night and a great weekend. As always, we'll be around on the Discord. I keep an eye on the chats in there, and I comment periodically, but like pretty much every day I'm reading over what everybody's posting, so feel free to hang out in there, and I'm sure you'll see me in there if you do. So have a good night, and be on the lookout for this unboxing video. You guys got to see it first. It is all unboxed, but hopefully we'll have that on the sim. Probably not next week because stuff never works out, but maybe by the end of this month we'll actually get to see how this thing rips. So till then, peace.